all right. You know the deal. MIC Podcast, man, episode 190, where everyone is a master of their own creation. You know, we have another just dope guest in the building. Our guest today is the owner of yours truly, Nail Studio here in Pittsburgh that just newly opened up. We have Maria Nguyen in the building. What's going on, Maria?
Hey, good.
Just speak to the mic as much as possible. Yeah. I forgot to even mention that
No.
before we started recording, but
No, how sensitive.
because we're gonna get we're gonna get into a lot, so just make sure you're just talking to the mic as much as possible. But thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, no, for sure. How was I know like the studio is pretty new for you, it's pretty fresh. So
yes, I just opened a month ago.
that's fucking insane, and congratulations
Yes,
on that, by the
thank
way.
you.
That's
Thank you.
that's beautiful. But yeah, I mean, just how's life been? Just adjusting to like your new space.
Well, it's really insane because as much as it was a crazy ride getting there, it's
Facts.
honestly felt so comfortable. Because
Okay, yeah.
even though this is like a completely different type of vibe for me, like going from a commission salon to coming and working on your own in your own studio, it has been the easiest part so
Yeah,
far, just
right.
working there.
Yeah.
But all the other avenues
Yep.
in it, that's where it gets challenging.
It gets
Yeah.
crazy, right? I'm sure we'll get into all that
Mhm.
good stuff. But I know you're from Pittsburgh. Where in Pittsburgh did you grow up?
So that's a tricky one, but I technically grew up in like Bloomfield, East Liberty.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but I moved around a lot. So I grew up there, and then I moved to Virginia for a little bit.
Oh, for
moved
real? Okay.
Back, yep. And then I basically grew up in Brentwood.
Okay.
Yeah.
Word. How was life in Virginia for you? Do you remember much of it, or?
It was definitely between the ages of like 5 to 8. So like I don't remember too much of it, but I definitely knew that I loved living there more than I did living here.
For real, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm from Maryland originally, so like I know certain parts of Virginia, like
Yeah,
like what
Arlington.
Arlington, yeah,
Yeah.
that's right on the orange line, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yes.
loved living there, and me and my family, we would take like holidays there all the time because we just loved the diversity, very big
It's dope,
Vietnamese
yeah.
community.
And it's metro accessible too, so like you can get to and from the city,
Oh,
which is
yeah.
like pretty dope. So
Mm.
that's like the one thing Pittsburgh is missing. It's like a dope, like public transportation.
Oh, seriously.
Not public transit, but just like a train system. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so much easier, like at least because I lived in Brooklyn, New York as well. So
Okay.
like that public transportation, having that was definitely like the most memorable part.
Yeah,
It's just like
100%.
traveling,
Yeah.
always being on the subway or
Yeah.
always being on the metro, like that. That was always really fun.
It introduced you just to like so much life
Yeah.
on like different parts. Not all of them are good.
No, not at all.
Like, how long did you live in New York before like you moved back to
Yeah, so I lived in New York for about a year.
Oh, okay.
And so it was temporary. It was just for a little bit, but honestly, I got all the information, all the lessons that I needed to learn from there to really move forward.
Probably in, like the first couple months.
I didn't even need
Yeah, that's what
a
I'm
year.
saying. Like, yeah, because it's just everything is expedited in New York. Like,
Oh, for sure.
Like, it's just life just happens at like a different tick.
Yeah, I think that is one thing that they were not lying about is how fast New York moves.
Yeah, they don't play.
And living in Pittsburgh, being in the suburbs, and just like that, that slow moving lifestyle, it was a crazy transition. It was my first time moving outside of my house as well.
Yeah.
So living on my own with 2 roommates that I met on Facebook Marketplace.
Wow, you really made the jump, man.
Yeah.
You said, fuck it, like, yeah.
It was
no, I respect it. So what? So like were you just like like when you were moving, was that just like really all family based, or like were you working in some of these spots, or?
So when I moved to Virginia, that was just childhood family. And then moving back and then living like in different places around Pittsburgh, I was just kind of just following wherever my family went.
Okay,
And I
yeah.
think I started working for my family because they have their own nail salon.
Yeah.
And I started working for them probably in my like late teens. So
Okay,
like
all right.
18, 19 is when I started.
Copy. And like just even like prior to that, like what did you gravitate towards like creatively? Like was it always just kind of like the nail art, or like did you have other pockets of creativity?
Well, it really started with singing and dancing.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, so I did a little bit of dance when I was younger, but that got too expensive, so I had to let that go. And then I started singing. I was in the choir, like in
Okay.
high school, middle
Nice.
school, so like I really enjoyed that avenue creatively. And then it kind of progressed into modeling from there.
Dope.
So that's kind of how I segued into like more creativity that way. So in high school, I just always loved art class as well. So like drawing was always easy for me. I never had any issues with like painting or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as I kind of decided to use that as my job,
Mm-hmm.
I knew that just the practicing was the only part that I needed to do.
Sure,
I didn't,
yeah.
because everything else was easy.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
So just like really just like you just took to the art.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
I feel that, and just like even within that, like was there like a certain style that like you just gravitated towards? Like was there like certain things like you'd like to paint, or you just free for all?
No, there was nothing specifically that I liked to paint.
Yeah.
It was just more I loved concepts.
Yeah. Okay.
So like if the teacher was saying like, "Oh, we're doing a project about fish."
Okay.
So everybody has their own interpretation of what fish they want to
Sure,
draw.
yeah, definitely.
And I think that was where my like excitement was.
Yeah,
Like,
just like the
what kind of
like
fish can I draw?
Yeah, facts,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
100%.
how can I make it different than like what you would normally see?
Facts.
So definitely with my career now, like when I do nails and they bring me an inspo pic, I usually try to like put my own little flair
Spin
to
on
it.
yeah.
Or if they tell me like a couple of their ideas, I would kind of combine a little bit of everything and put it.
Yeah, I mean, like it's kind of similar to like tattooing a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like I mean, like some people just kind of want here, like this is what I want. Don't make any adjustments.
Mm-hmm.
But like I also feel like a lot more people are just like here's what I want, but take your own artistic liberties, like add your own flair. Like at the core, this is what I want, but feel free to. I mean, like that's what I told my tattoo artists. Like they are fire. It's like. And it's like I trust them, explicitly, So it's just like this is what I want, but whatever flares you want to put on there, I'm leaving that to you.
Yeah, I think like over the past couple of years, I've really been able to build that trust that I have with my
100%,
clients.
yeah, right.
And they know me. They know how much I care about doing what they feel comfortable doing or what they like to do. So if I were to tell them, they would bring me a picture. I'm like, I can't do that.
Yeah,
or
right.
I have never tried that.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to try that for you. They totally trust me.
Yeah, no. Process. And I was even like, we were just even kind of talking about that with our last guest. Shout out to Jess Kulo. We were just talking about like how, just like with brands and everything like that, like, people like whatever product you're, peddling, like if it's content, if it's, whatever. It's like, yeah, like, people want, like people are there for that, but they're more in part there for you. Like they're investing in the person.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, like, like you do dope art, but it's just like, or like, you do dope, like nail work, but it's like they're investing in Maria. It's just like building in that trust, like is huge for your client, just like your clientele. Cause it's just like, they know you do good nails, but it's like, they know you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah.
Yeah. I definitely noticed that in the past year. I was able like to build my clientele pretty quickly. And I felt like everybody that I was having to return to me kept getting excited. Like,
dope, yeah.
This is what I did, and how have you been? What happened with this? Like, I really do like they're almost like my friends.
Of course,
like
yeah,
family. Like
100%. Yeah,
they have trusted me to do their nails and to trust me with telling me the things that are going on in their life, and I respect that a lot. I'm definitely their secret keeper too, and I have done moms, daughters, and I don't spill anything.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Of
like,
course,
it's private.
Absolutely, right. Yeah, no, you got to keep that safe, locked up, because if it gets out, where it came from.
Oh, yeah, exactly. You're like, I didn't tell nobody but my nail tech, and I'm not letting that.
That's mad funny. Yeah. So, like, I mean, like, what do you do to, like, kind of keep yourself creative?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think what I do is I try to stay as motivated as possible.
Mhm.
And I don't know how I necessarily do that, but in my head I'm always thinking, okay, what's next?
Okay.
I try not to get too comfortable because if I get comfortable then I just stay stagnant.
Complacent, yeah.
So when I try to like as soon as I wake up, I'm like, okay, what am I going to do today? How am I going to do this or how am I going to do that? And that kind of creates like, if I'm trying to get this goal, how am I supposed to get there?
Okay.
And that's where the creativeness comes in. So like if I'm trying to reach a certain goal, what steps do I have to get there? And that's kind of like how I do that. And then when it comes to that creativity aspect of it, I feel like that's all I've ever feel.
Yeah.
Like I'm always feeling like what can I do to express myself
Yeah.
or to show like my true personality and how can I inspire other people and yeah.
What do you think like your true personality comes out like outside of the work that you do? Is it like through fashion? Is it like through
Yeah.
music?
Fashion for sure, but music is pretty big.
Mm.
I think like music for me has always been so personal. I feel like music just has so many different
Love music, man.
um
Yeah.
like it's just so many emotions
It's
and
just,
so many
it's just it's literally like just like just tangible emotions.
yeah,
In a way, you know what I mean?
it's so crazy. Like so many specific artists like Yeba for example.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
think
man. Yeah, but man, she could belt, bro.
she
She has
not
a fucking
only
voice on her.
yeah, like that her being such a great vocalist,
Yeah.
she is able to kind of make you, as soon as she sings, it makes you feel exactly how you would think
I agree.
she's trying to make you feel. And it's like,
100%.
whenever I try to be in that creative mode, like on my way here,
Mm-hmm.
I put on a playlist to like what vibe I wanted to
Yeah.
be in, like what kind of mood or energy. And I learned that actually through modeling.
Oh, for real?
I went to Coco Rocha's model camp and
Okay.
I spent
Is
3
that
days there.
in Pittsburgh or?
No, this was actually in New York.
Okay, yeah,
White
makes
Plains, New
sense.
York.
Okay, yeah.
So I did a research and I wanted to learn as much as I could. So I went there and I learned. And one of the things she told us was make a playlist on the mood board.
Okay.
And I carried that like throughout my entire life.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's really it really sets the tone. I've
100%.
noticed like if I do a shoot and I play a certain vibe, like if I'm doing Rihanna's album, I like already instantly get into that like kind of sultry mood. And but
Yeah.
if I'm doing something fun and girly and pop, like I'll put Sabrina Carpenter on or something like that. So
yeah.
yeah, so it's a really easy way to get in. I mean, I'm sure people do it for sports and stuff too.
Yeah,
like
yeah. No, yeah.
playing hype music.
It's sports and all that, and like I don't know, like making playlists has just always kind of been like, and like I'm not I'm not trying to making a playlist sound pretentious. You feel me? But it's like, wait, ever since Spotify like was a thing, I would just kind of like mess around with that. Like I was like on Spotify like I'd say like at least like midway, if not early in high school, so it's just like I was just like like messing around with it. I thought like I still think it's like the best music streaming
for sure.
Like in like completely. I don't think nothing is close,
Yeah.
And like it's just always like been that way. But like every feature they add, I've thought at one point like, yo, they should do this. That's I can't corroborate that with nothing. But like
there's no proof.
But I promise. I'm just like, cause even like nowadays they have like AI based just like a playlist creators, which makes sense.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But it's like, hey, make me a playlist for this mood, and like it'll like like make just like a preliminary thing that like best suits it, but like you can go in and like edit that stuff. And then there's also a feature of like when I was, and like I know we're going off on a tangent, but this is like when I used to find new music, I would like listen to like maybe 30-45 seconds of a song, see how I feel about it, and just so I can get to all the music. Now they kind of have like a story feature, like so like if you go on a playlist, you can just like it'll be in like the left hand corner. Like you can just tap it, and then like it'll have every song on the playlist, but just like the first 30-45 seconds.
I've never used that.
I'm telling you,
feature.
it's
That's
insane.
cool.
Like it just like kind of makes rifling through the songs
Yeah.
a lot quicker.
I will say I've been using Spotify since probably like 2016, 2015.
Facts.
It's been a long time, and I think they've like curated all my playlists to a T, to every type of music I've saved since then. And I don't even listen to music then, but they've known me so well. They have all my songs that I've ever
all
saved
like
on
the subgenres and all.
Yes, for sure. I love their feature where because I hate making playlists actually.
Yeah.
But I save all my like songs.
Sure.
And so in the feature, you could just pick the genres of like what you want to listen to.
Yeah, exactly.
And like
that's even kind of dope.
It's so weird. No, because sometimes like it will have like a weird one like love. Yeah. And then you like click it and it'll play all the love songs. Exactly. Or like and it's so weird, but it's so convenient.
100%.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, no, I mean, so like I definitely feel you as far as like, like the music helping you get in that mode, stay creative. As far as like, being like a nail tech, was that something like you always wanted to do, or like when did that, kind of rear its head for you?
Yeah, no. I always knew I wanted to do it for a job. I did not want it to necessarily be a career path.
Yeah, for sure.
I basically grew up in a nail salon. Like I was raised in a nail salon, so I knew that it was just something that I just didn't want to continue doing because I was always around it. And then eventually, once I started to realize that I really have like a love and passion for it, I knew that I could start here and make something grow out of it. And that's kind of what I'm doing now, is kind of create this brand that I've already started to create and kind of see where that goes and see how that expands.
Yeah, for sure. Like, were you interested in anything prior to being a nail tech, or like was that just kind of like, all right, I'm gonna do this and just like I'll figure it out from here?
Yeah, I mean, the big question when you leave high school is like, what are you gonna do with your life? So college was definitely an option for me, and I wanted to go to college, but when I kept thinking about like what I wanted to major in, I just couldn't find anything that I felt like fit me. And then I started to I did my senior photos in high school, and then I noticed that I started to really like being able to express myself creatively in front of a camera. But then at the time I was kind of like a little nervous, a little like low self-esteem. So then once I started to kind of build that confidence and then start to work with more people, other creatives and photographers, I started to notice like that it's just a crazy world. And like mixing that with fashion, something that I've always loved as well, like having all those different moving parts, that's what I actually wanted to do, was model. And I did it for a while and I loved it. But then I was ready to kind of grow and try to pivot into something different. And I feel like this kind of plays right perfectly into the theme I've had all my life. And expressing myself creatively through nails has been super fun. And being able to create a vibe in the studio that I've just opened. It was like so easy. Well, hard. But easy.
But like it's something you wanted to do. So like, there was like, that's where the ease comes from. It's like, okay, like I'm just doing what I want to do. But, just opening your own business is not an easy thing to do.
No. And that is one thing I will say, besides all the creative aspects or outlets that I've used, opening a business was always something I knew I wanted to do.
Okay.
I think there was a moment where my cousins, we were all playing a game, and I don't even know what game it was, but they like picked up a card and was like, what do you see Maria being in the future? And my cousin was like, oh, like I could definitely see Maria being a CEO. And ever since then, like that has been locked in my memory. Yeah. And I just was like, wow, like a CEO, what is that?
Yeah.
And they're just like, it's just a boss, like somebody that runs a company. And I'm like, I would love to do that.
Yeah, right.
I would love to do
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah,
So,
that sounds about
yeah.
sure, why not? Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, right. It's even just kind of funny. It's like what sticks with you just in life. You know what I mean? Just like, like you didn't know that like there'll be a memory that, you would recall, years later, you know what I mean? But it's just funny like how that happens.
Yeah, it's really easy to kind of get like swayed in different directions.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
So I think not going to college was really eye-opening to kind of figure out like what do I actually want to do, because I think when some people go to college they kind of follow through the flow of going to classes, being around people that they're in like the same major, and then they don't really ask those like tough questions,
like those internal, like what do I really want to do. And like, if you don't go to college after high school, like you kind of have to face real life a little bit earlier, you know what I mean? So it definitely evolves you in that aspect. But I know that you mentioned you were working in your like your family salon for a good bit. Like how long have you actually been like a nail tech?
So I've been a nail tech probably like, I would say that I was working for probably around 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah, around there.
Okay.
So it hasn't been too long, but I feel like it's been forever.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, just because like you always grew up around it.
Yeah.
So like when you first started like being a tech, like was it just like your family that taught you, or?
So naturally, yes.
Yeah.
They've obviously, I've been around it. I've seen so many people get their nails done. So I learned everything in a nail salon. Professionally, though, going to school was like a whole different avenue because you're learning textbook stuff.
Okay.
You're not learning just a simple like, painting nails or designs and stuff like that. And I think that obviously was really important to learn as well.
Which school did you go to for like just like learn how to get?
So I went to cosmetology school.
Okay, all right.
But I went during high school.
Okay, copy.
So I like went to that tech school. So I learned some of it there, and then I finished my hours after high school.
Okay, well, so like you were like doing like kind of like a hybrid thing, like just kind of splitting your time. But that's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
it was, I mean, like we like 17, 18 years old. Like you were doing that. That's crazy. Like
yeah, I know, and because I knew that whenever I was trying to figure my life out, I knew that this is something that I can fall back on, and this is something that I know will be here, and that's something I can use as a tool to kind of like explore all my options. Yeah, essentially.
How was your experience in the cosmetology school, from what you remember?
Yeah, it was definitely I would say it was more about my friends. Obviously at such a young age you don't take any of that stuff seriously.
Yeah, right.
But I knew that this was something that I wanted to do, so like I tried to stay focused and try to learn as much as I can. It just honestly felt like everybody was kind of just going there trying to like pass the time too. Like just kind of like, oh well, I didn't want to take the electives in school, so I'm just gonna be here and do that. So that kind of energy didn't motivate me as much, because I like to be around like people that like really like try to work hard and stuff. Yeah, so like, but not to say that that's not who I surrounded myself by. We just, none of us took it seriously at first.
Sure. So like after you left, like what made you just kind of want to be like, all right, like I'm a buckle down, take this seriously?
Yeah, because life hits you.
Yeah,
and you're like,
I feel that.
You got bills to pay and you have your car to pay for. So like I knew that I had to take something seriously. So I knew that in the nail industry it was something that I was comfortable with and I was used to, and I had the community like with my family being able to support me and help me guide me through it. So yeah, my family helped me through it all. Like 100%. They were definitely super supportive.
Was that like the first job you had coming out of cosmetology school?
For sure.
Working at the family salon.
Yeah.
Is that like the only salon that you worked at before opening?
No, I worked at different salons, just helping out and stuff like that. But yeah, like I was like all over the place, like Belle Vernon, Cranberry, and then my commission salon was in Gibsonia.
Okay, word. Like, what made you wanna like just like jump to like is that's like the nature of the industry or
No, kind of. I was actually following my sister. She was definitely the one person that supported me the most through it all. She knew that she wanted to help me as much as she could.
dope?
And she wanted me to kind of just see how it goes and see how it's run and see how it is. And so wherever she went, I just followed her.
Yeah.
So I just followed her wherever she was going.
Yeah.
So I didn't really have a choice necessarily, but I didn't care neither.
Yeah,
I was
right,
just
right.
like, this is the most help I'm gonna get.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Who else is gonna help me?
No, and like I was even gonna say like shout out to her for even
Yes,
just being a good sister and it's like taking you under the wing.
Yeah.
And, like we mentioned earlier, you just opened up your new studio and like again congrats on that.
Thank you.
Like what made you, because that's just such a leap to be like, all right, I'm just gonna branch out on my own, and open up my own studio. So like when did you even start kind of thinking about that, and like what made you want to make that jump?
Well, in the beginning of this year, I kind of felt like I was ready for it. I think when I moved back from New York, I already had that mindset that I was going to start my business.
Okay.
But it actually started out as a boutique idea.
Okay.
I wanted to curate like a line of clothes, and I wanted to sell that either online or in a brick and mortar. And so after I got myself stable, after moving back from New York and getting comfortable, I knew that I wanted to start that. And when I started doing all the research and listening to all the books and the podcasts, I noticed that I was starting to kind of grow out of the environment of the salon that I was working at.
How so?
I just felt like my being in a family salon was so great, but also was kind of creating this like distance in a family dynamic.
Okay.
So I wanted to, because I knew I wanted to move more towards my own business, I knew that I would eventually have to leave. And I'm just that type of person. Like, if it's not working, you leave now. You don't wait for the right time. And so when I realized that was happening for me, I knew that if I don't leave now, it's going to be harder to leave later.
Of course, yeah.
So that's kind of why it felt a little abrupt. But I also knew that this was something that I wanted to do. And when you're in a private studio, it's easier in a sense because you're on your own. So you don't have to worry about, taking care of other techs that you're working with.
Right.
But that's what makes it hard is being on your own.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, so you wear all the hats, you do all the cleaning, you do all the shopping, everything. But I will say my boyfriend has definitely helped me navigate that whole process for sure. He's definitely made it a lot easier. Just kind of being my person that I would just ask all these random questions and like him helping me research and find things. And when I got my pedicure chair in, there was some issues with the plumbing and he was able to fix that for me.
Wow.
Like I would have given up. Like I would have just seen the pedicure chair like fall apart and just would have been like,
all right, well, guess no one's in that chair.
Yeah, so
standing and doing nails.
Yeah, exactly. I was definitely just like so grateful. And then I had my support system, my friend Jazz, her boyfriend, like everybody has honestly been so supportive. That's why it makes it so much easier as well.
Yeah.
But I will say my family kind of had a little bit of a hard time letting me go in that aspect.
I was gonna say like what was their reaction like?
Yeah, she was kind of coming off a little bit stoic and just wanting to kind of warn me of all the things that could possibly happen, which is an older sister, of course you're gonna do that.
Yeah, right.
But a lot of the times there was conversations of, I shouldn't do it. Like, there's no reason for me to do it. I've had a really good clientele
just
here.
That big sister protection.
Yeah. And with like other family members, like, why are you doing this? Yeah. You should work here longer until everything gets stable.
Block
and
all that out. Yeah. It's natural, because it's just like it just comes from a place like we care about you, but it's
for
you're
sure.
just gonna have to put the blinders on.
Yeah, I've just been the youngest, so I
Man,
just
oh
been the
my
most
gosh.
reckless.
Yeah.
So I just they're used
That's
to
so
me
funny.
just not caring. Like
Yep.
I love them to death,
Of
but I
course.
don't
It's like, yeah.
care. I
Sorry, yeah.
fail
I'll
and
go
I'll
buck.
fail
Like,
on
yeah,
my own,
exactly.
and that's exactly what has happened in the past. Is like
I feel that.
I got myself out of deep holes, or I've gotten myself out of problems.
Yeah.
That's
There
how you
go.
learn.
And here we are.
Yeah.
190 on the MIC podcast. What up? Strap. But no, I mean, just even throughout that journey, because like and shout out to Big Sis, man. But like, was there anyone that you kind of looked to for guidance on this, or like was she just kind of like the main source?
Well, in this business avenue, I actually wasn't able to fully kind of look towards her for guidance because she wasn't super for me being out on my own and kind of doing this, because she's
Right.
from what she's seen or what she's learned or just all the things that she's known, she's not known it to be successful.
Does she have her own studio?
She has her own salon.
Okay, copy. Wow.
Yeah, so she kind of she's always taken the short route.
Yeah.
And I've always taken the opposite route,
Yeah,
like the route that nobody has walked on.
There you go.
So
Route less traveled.
Yes, exactly. And I think that's why our differences were just butting heads in that aspect too, because I will view the world differently. I look at the possibilities. I don't look at the short things sometimes.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
Like did that even kind of play a part as to like you making the jump as well? It's like if I really I just want to do what I want to do. Like.
Yeah, I mean, because in my head I was like, well, if it fails, then I'll find a way to make money somewhere else or do something else. Like if I go in with the idea that it's just not going to work, then it will never work. And I knew that I would try my best to make it work. Yeah. And if it didn't really work, then it just wasn't meant to happen.
Reshuffle the deck and do something else. So just like throughout this whole journey for you, just kind of walk us through that. Like, really, my question is, just within that, like, what was kind of like the hardest part for you in this whole thing?
Honestly, essentially I was kind of in the mindset of opening the online boutique. Okay. That was my goal. And then once I kind of came up with this like epiphany that like I think I need to leave, that was probably like a month before I actually left.
Wow.
So in that month period,
you're quick, Maria. God damn, like that's crazy. Like holy shit.
In that month period, I was like, okay, well, this is what we're gonna do. And my sister was wanting to take a trip, and she told me that I kind of need you to stay here and manage the salon while I'm gone. And I told her, I was like, I don't think I'm gonna be here while you're gone.
Oh shit.
And then she's like, what do you mean? So that's kind of how that ball started rolling.
Yeah, right.
And so I wasn't ready then. I only toured a couple of suites at the time. I didn't even know how much the rent was going to be. I didn't know the actual plan into being in your own suite.
Yeah.
I just knew that I was ready to go.
Right.
And so after I told, because I wasn't expecting her to tell me that day. Yeah, so after I had told her that day, like my heart was beating and I was like, okay, so now I actually have to go. Yeah, like I have already told her that I have to leave. So in that time period, my mom, she had a kidney transplant back in 2022, 2023. And she's always just kind of had these like different difficulties through her journey. But in September she had a UTI, and that kind of transpired into like a kidney infection. Man. So she had to go through surgery. So in this month period, while I was buying all the supplies for the salon, I was also running back and forth in the hospital, making sure that she's taking care of, like bringing food to her if she needed, talking to the doctors nonstop because she doesn't speak English.
Yeah, sure.
And I was basically a primary caretaker.
Yeah, fair.
Like, she probably started her kidney issues back in 2016.
Man, I'm sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah, and it's just been a long journey for her, but because I was the one that was most familiar with her history,
Yeah,
and
right.
my sisters have kids. I don't have any kids.
Fell on you.
It kind of fell on me to
Yeah.
make sure that I try to stay on top of helping her as much as I could.
100%.
And my
Doing better?
yeah, she's doing a lot better now. And but during that September time period,
Yeah, man.
like it was that and that,
Yeah.
and I was like, while I was waiting for her in surgery, I was on my phone doing all the research about what I need to get for the business and what I have to do to get ready for leaving in a month.
So what's your mentality like at that point? Like, is it just kind of just all over the place, or?
It was an obsession.
Yeah, right.
I was obsessed for sure, like just always on my phone, always researching, always trying to find all the things that I need to do. It was just like a constant checklist every day. Like just as soon as I wake up, what do I need to get? What do I need to get? And I I don't want to say that I don't even know what other emotions other than the fact that I was just stressed.
Yeah,
like I couldn't feel anything else other than just that stress because I'm making sure that my mom is like I'm talking to the doctors to make sure we figure out why it was happening and what was going on with that. And then I was, talking to my sisters, letting her know like what the doctor has said. But then I'm working full time as well during this time period. So I'm focusing on my clients.
Yeah.
But then I'm picking up the phone. And then when I get home, I'm researching about the salon, trying to figure out what I need to get for the salon. So that for me was just stress.
Yeah, man.
It was stress, but it was exciting towards the end of it all when things were starting to wrap up. She was starting to heal and get better. And I was starting to kind of like get all the things that I needed to get, and it was starting to be moving day.
Place, yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot easier being able to like have the people around me to help. And but yeah.
I mean, it takes a village, as they say, you know. But
for sure.
You said like you landed in Gibsonia for your career. Why Gibsonia? Like, is that just what ended up like fitting the bill for you, or?
Yeah, I mean, because I've always kind of just followed that trail that my sister had. She found a business opportunity out there.
Okay.
And she decided to buy that salon. So naturally, I wanted to work with her.
Yeah.
I wanted to work there. And it was definitely different because I don't know that area well at all. But
how far is that from the city?
It's like 45.
Okay, yeah,
like
that sounds right.
35, 40. Like it just depends on where you're at exactly. But
yeah, I've definitely heard of the area. Just like I've never been there.
Yeah, it's definitely like towards Butler.
Okay, yeah. I mean, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so it's not that far away from Butler. So that's that general area. And it definitely was a really different environment for me because I've always grew up very close to the city.
Okay, yeah.
And I just always was just around all different types of diversity. And it's just it's not as diverse as it is here up there. So like it was so different just constantly being around that unfamiliar environment.
Right.
But it worked out, and it got me the clients that followed me to the studio.
How many like spots did you look at before landing on the spot that you chose? Were there many, or because I mean, like you moved pretty quick?
Yeah, I was able to tour at least like 4 suites.
All right.
But I knew like where I wanted to go generally.
Yeah.
Because there's other ones, but they were further away, like Bridgeville or like Cranberry.
Yeah.
And I knew I wanted to try to be as close as I could to the city because I wanted to be closer to home. And then also just kind of be an easier access for people that are actually living in the city. Because I felt like that kind of fits my image, my brand as well. Kind of like having that city vibe.
Right.
Fun, creative, like not so like conservative type of nail sets.
Yeah, no, I mean, I feel you. What about the studio that like you chose made you pick it? Like, was it just like the look of it? Did you like, just like, what made you pick it?
So it all came down to like what my priorities were. And my priorities was 1, to be convenient for my clients to get to.
Okay.
And then 2, to be close to home. And then 3, to have a window.
Okay.
And a lot of studio suites don't have a window.
Yeah, okay, makes sense.
And so for me, I could have lived without, but I knew that if I was going to pick one, it should be one with a window. And so my studio has like a really pretty big window, and I chose the one because I had two options. I had the option where it was facing the street, but you're familiar with McKnight. It's just always cars going on the street. And whereas a lot of people would see that as a great business opportunity to have your logo right there to people walk past and see.
Yeah.
I felt like it was just a very not calming environment.
Just didn't align with like what you're trying to like.
Yeah, I would have had the blinds down the whole time because I wouldn't want to see the cars just constantly driving past.
Yeah.
So I chose the window with the side where you can kind of see like the side of the mountain that's there.
That's dope.
It's not really like too much greenery because you know, but like it got a couple of branches in there.
So now it made a concrete.
Yeah, a little concrete, so it's fine. It was great.
That's hilarious.
But I'd rather that than like, you know, to have that like sunlight in, indirect sunlight in, and just kind of see that at least.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like what? Like was there anything just even leading up to getting the place, like just even just starting your own business, like outside of like this studio that like just kind of caught you by surprise in like in the process, or it's kind of like something like you didn't really think of initially that like you'd have to do when setting up your own business?
Oh well, this is actually kind of funny. It's not necessarily like a big thing that I forgot. Yeah. I took care of all the big things. Yeah, I forgot the little things.
Of course, yeah.
So my opening day was October 1st, and I think
that's like this is crazy. Yeah, like you're really just fresh out.
Yeah. So it was October 1st. So then I think it was like my second or third day, somewhere in between there. I realized that I forgot to buy a top coat for one of my services. Oh. And this specific service is called dip powder, and they use a specific gel. And
I'm so forgive my ignorance. I thought you were talking about an actual piece of clothing, a top coat for the nails. Yeah, it's
yeah,
I was.
It's okay.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
No, it's the like, nail, the verbiage of the nail.
Who's gonna wear it? Yeah. I'm like, what? All right, okay, all right.
The verbiage is completely different, so I get it. So basically, it's a gel base that you would need to perform the dip powder. Okay. And I got the stuff to fill, like to refill, to like buying the stuff in bulk. I got the supply to fill it, but I didn't buy the actual product. Okay. So I looked at my day and I had a couple of those services, and I looked around and I'm like, I unloaded everything. Like, where's everything at? And I couldn't find it. And I was like, damn. I forgot to buy it. Damn. And great thing, I literally work 5 minutes down a nail supply store on McKnight Road. Wow. So I was able to drive there.
Shout out to McKnight. Like McKnight, they just stuffed that road with like businesses.
It's crazy, and it's overwhelming, and it's honestly just
nuts,
crazy. Like I just don't understand how people navigate driving around there. The constant U-turns just to get somewhere, like that has honestly been really pissing me off. You gotta be careful, man. Yeah. I almost died. Like genuinely. You know that intersection where the Dave and Buster's is? Like there's an intersection where you go and loop into McKnight Square or something up there. But basically, I was just turning and a truck almost killed me.
God damn!
Like he was trying to run the red light, basically.
Yeah, as you do to red light.
I was just like, this McKnight Road is crazy.
It definitely gets hectic, and like just because like I know like you mentioned earlier, like what happened with like your the chair, like with like the plumbing issue, right? Like what was
so. I basically was able to get a pretty good deal on it and bought it off of this woman who used to own her own nail salon, but she didn't use it. And so I was able to get it off of her, and it was literally almost brand new. But what had happened was, I think, honestly, I don't even know what happened with it. He kind of figured that out on his own. I just knew like what we had to do and what we had to get. Yeah. But he was able. My boyfriend, he's an engineer, so he was able to kind of figure out what's wrong with the chair. So he was able to call the company and get the parts that we needed, and was able to fix it for me.
Super though.
Because I'm like looking, he's like taking it apart. Yeah. Like he was literally taking the chair apart.
In the chair. Yeah.
And I was like, how? what are you doing? And he
Yeah.
was like, I'm making sure the motor board is
Yeah, the
working.
carburetor's actually been corrupted, so I'm just taking the flux capacitor and tweaking it.
He's
It's like,
so
all right,
smart.
what's up? Like, yeah.
No, like it's insane. Seeing him work that chair, I was like, you are really smart. Like
Yeah.
kudos to him.
Nah, shout out to them. Like, shout out to him just like even being handy.
Yeah.
To
I mean,
do that.
he was willing to support me in any way, whether it was being like the plumber, being the contractor. I was asking him for advice of what like colors I should get. Like he was just there for me.
That's
for sure.
dope, man. Shout out to you, bro.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, just how has business been for you so far? Up to this point. I mean, you're like, your first month in. How you feeling?
First month in, it's honestly been like really great. I'm kind of like scared because I'm almost waiting for something to happen to where I need to start worrying. But as of right now, all I do is like clock in, do my clients, and then leave, and then just kind of take care of my own space, which feels that type of freedom, owning your own space like that. It's definitely addicting.
Yeah.
As soon as you get into that space where you are the boss of
Can't
yourself,
go back,
how are you ever able to go back?
Possible.
But sometimes I find myself like I love doing nails and I love talking to clients, but then I also kind of like that. I had a serving job in New York.
Okay.
And I love that kind of almost mindless work of just kind of like moving fast.
Yeah.
And I loved it. Like I loved doing it. So I kind of even want to work more. Like I was like, maybe I should pick up a shift like once a week or something and just make a little bit of extra money here and there because that seems really fun to me too.
100%. How'd you come up with the name?
So the name actually it actually started from Ariana Grande was my favorite artist growing up.
Word.
And she had an album called Yours Truly.
Yeah, facts.
So I loved that album, but obviously it was like really old. And when I made my names for my Instagrams and stuff, like I always kind of like used that album title because it always goes back to music for me.
Yeah.
And I was like, what's my favorite album? And that's the one that popped up. So that's what I used to create the name. So when I started this business, I was like searching up things like what should you name a business? Like Gary V.
Yeah.
Like he's popped up and he was like, you just name your business whatever you want or like it doesn't matter.
Come on, man.
So I was just like I was just like, okay, like I could just make it whatever. So then when I was making a list of all the things, it just felt naturally to me that I was just like that album title is just really beautiful. I love the way that it kind of just pays that puts that message of just like saying what you want to say and then kind of like ending and wrapping it up with like this is what yours truly said. And I just feel like that's kind of the energy I have in my studio is like kind of leaving it all out there and saying what you want to say and being safe and comfortable. And that's kind of what it feels like to me.
Yeah, just what it is. How did you like? Are all the clients you have now like? Did they follow you from any one place, or like is it just all new clients? Yeah,
so most of my clients have followed me. I think around like 80-85%, something like that.
Okay.
Which I'm very blessed that I was able to have them come because I was going in and like telling myself that nobody was going to follow me.
Yeah.
I wanted to have the lowest expectation possible because I didn't want to plan to have more success than it actually could be.
Yeah, you want to like understand, like, there's one thing with like, being confident, but like you just kind of want to temper. It's like, all right, like let me just kind of approach it realistically.
Yeah, the only confidence I had was in like myself to try to work as hard as I could to get there, and that was the only sure thing that I knew. So when I was thinking about who would follow me, I was telling them very upfront. I was like, you're more than welcome to come if you would like, but no pressure.
Yeah, no shade on the no shade on this establishment, but I'm leaving. So, they're losing a good talent.
I mean, it was so awkward.
Yeah, of course. Cause it's just like, I mean, you don't want no clients when you open up. But it's just like, That's just capitalism at its finest, unfortunately. It just is what it is. It's just a game of Monopoly, man.
No,
Listen,
seriously.
man, like, come fuck with me.
Yeah.
In professionally. Yeah.
Yes.
In professional terms, come fuck with me. Like,
I was like slowly moving my business card. I was like, here's my business card.
yeah, right.
Just let
like,
you know.
like stop doing one nail at a time. It's like, yo, if you want the rest, come to yours truly. Like,
That would have been crazy. That would have been wild.
just do the first two. Like, yo, I'm leaving. If you want the rest, man. No, but because it's just always that that kind of weird game. Like, I just even wanted to ask you, like, do you handle your social media?
Yeah.
So like all those like reels and stuff,
Yeah.
like, I mean, that's even a lane that you could do, potentially for other people, but like,
Yeah.
obviously focus on your the business. But like, that's have you like seen traction just from that?
Yeah, 100%. A lot of my new followers or even bookings have come from just like posts that they've seen on Instagram, and I knew the one thing that was really going to help with the marketing of this place was social media.
Yeah.
And you can probably see that there's a growing market essentially for influencers in Pittsburgh.
100%. Yeah.
And
like, we were talking to one last episode.
Pittsburgh's cool now.
Yeah, oh yeah, dope.
Like, it's so cool now. And I knew, like, well, growing up, I didn't know. I was just like, Pittsburgh's lame. Like, there's not a lot of creatives here, or just like, there's not that community that like you see in New York or LA.
Right.
There's not the YouTubers here. Nobody wants to come to Pittsburgh, and now everybody wants to come to Pittsburgh.
It's funny because again, I'm not even originally from here, but like like most people like I've talked to from Pittsburgh. Yeah, no, I'm from Maryland originally. Yeah, no, yeah. I moved out here to do the podcast.
Really?
Yeah, yo.
No way.
Yeah, I swear, yeah.
I know that.
Yeah, yo, yeah.
Crazy.
I know, right? Yeah. I know, I've just been there
so
4
look
years.
at you. You're even one to come here.
But I was even like, just because like, from people that are from here, I mean, like, that's usually the arc that they, go through, kind of. So it's like, like they grew up in Pittsburgh. They, they don't really have that. They're like too close to get that perspective, but they just go through life. They leave, come back, and just kind of get that new appreciation. Like, I still think it's on the cusp of like best kept secret to like being blown completely. Like, yo, like Pittsburgh is the spot. Like I think it's just on that fine line.
Yeah. As soon as that diversity kind of starts collecting here, where more, I mean, already we've noticed, I grew up here, so I've been to mostly all Asian restaurants, and now seeing that like Asian restaurants try to like grow, like it's definitely happening.
Yeah,
and like
it's
crazy to see in front of my own eyes. But yeah, we're called the Boomerangs apparently.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, my client, she's a new client actually to the studio, and she found me on Instagram, and she told me that we were just chit-chatting, and she also moved to New York as well, and she's from Pittsburgh, and she was like, yeah, we're like the Boomerangs. We leave.
Even come back. Yeah, okay, makes sense. Okay. No, I mean, I completely agree.
Yeah.
How do you see the studio growing?
Well,
in the future, I know like it's still pretty fresh, so like you got a lot of other stuff to put your mental focus towards, but it's like just that kind of big picture.
I think there is a picture, there is a vision, and I do have a lot of hopes and dreams put into this business because I essentially want to build the brand as big as possible, and I want to basically use everything I've learned up until this point about the creative industry, about just marketing in general, and kind of see where that could go. Collab with more artists around Pittsburgh, people that like to express themselves through nails. I would love to connect with the models and photographers who want to have like a really cool concept, kind of like touch base with them and kind of see where they want to take that vision.
Have you ever worked with like any like body makeup artists or just like
no, but that would be so fun too. So I'm definitely open to a lot of different things, but I know like the vision for the salon, the studio, I wanted to be as accessible to as many people as possible.
Yeah.
So my goal is to open a salon that has more than one nail tech. Then just have it grow into different parts of Pittsburgh to where everybody can have a little bit of the studio.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, shout out to Kat Sims. You may have to hit up Kat Sims. I know, like, do you know the brands via the swim model?
Yes.
Yeah, like
I actually attended her fashion show.
So I'm saying, like, just for like the fashion shows, I'm sure, like, she needs someone to, like, do nails and, like, sponsor the event, like, take care of the models in that fashion. So, that's someone that's based in the city,
Yeah, that's why I love supporting people that are from the city or are here trying to make something of themselves from something that's not there.
Yeah.
And I think, like, she definitely does amazing doing that, and like putting that whole thing together was really cool to witness. And I fully support like the entire community as well of people that want to kind of make the most of themselves in this city where you don't really see that.
100%. Did you hear from your sister after, like, you opened up shop and, like, you were starting to get going? Or?
No, I mean, I have in terms of family, like we've had birthdays, so I've seen her. She invited me to my nephew's birthday, so we've like talked about that, but she has not asked me anything about the salon or how is it going, or she hasn't stopped in and seen it. Which I was totally expecting.
Okay.
I was not surprised otherwise, because I think that's just kind of the dynamic that me and my family have, is just kind of that just like stronger.
Yeah, right. Just push everything.
The vulnerability is
you just push everything is a steel trap, which is what it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, I mean, like, would you hire like another tech again, like down the line?
Yes.
Yeah, you would.
For sure. No, yeah, that is actually my goal, because I think a lot of people, there's a couple of nail techs that are in the salon suite as well, and I also have followed a lot of other nail techs in the Pittsburgh area.
Okay.
And for me, I like want to support as much as I can, because I don't, not to say that I don't see it as competition, but I just see it as like a community of people.
Right.
And eventually, if anybody felt that they're wanting to be a part of the studio, like, my arms are wide open, and I would love to have that community grow and become bigger.
Yeah.
For sure.
How, like, cause doing sets of nails after sets of nails can kind of get, I don't want to say like monotonous, but just like if you're doing anything that many times, the interest can kind of, it's like ebbs and flows. So, like, how do you keep it interesting for yourself?
Conversation.
Well, now, that makes sense. Yeah.
For me, it already got more interesting as soon as I started asking about my clients.
Yeah.
How their day was, what they're doing, what are their plans. But then I don't like small talk usually. So I kind of hit like a little bit too deep sometimes. And I'm like, so were you close with your family?
Yeah. So tell
and then they're like, so I've had some cries. I've had it all, but I want
beautiful though.
Yes.
I call my pops though, man.
No, for sure. Or boy problems, like they come, they ask for advice, and I'm not really the one to give the best advice, but I'm here to listen. I try to give the best advice as possible, but I always tell them to take it with a grain of salt, because I'm not trying to be responsible for anybody making any bad decisions.
No, of course. And like, I don't know what it is about the dynamic, like, like you have like that nails again, like, I get the tattoo, so it's like whenever I'm talking to my artist, like, it's just once the needle hits the skin, I'm just like, fathers are just they're just nuts, right?
It's so,
I don't know what it is about.
It's therapeutic,
like, for real. Like, that shit is different. Like,
it's therapy. It's for sure, because you're doing something for yourself.
Right.
You're already putting yourself in that vulnerable space to like be your most comfortable self. You're in the hands of somebody you trust.
Exactly.
And that is a perfect combination to just have those deep conversations, or really funny ones.
Yeah.
Like, some of my clients are hilarious.
Yeah, right.
And I just crack up, and we're done, and I'm just like, so what else? Like, just wanting to keep talking to them. So that's the one thing I love about my job is talking to my clients and building that connection, because that's definitely the thing that I look forward to the most.
Facts. Like, well, what's the I saw that like you posted a reel. So like you had like 7 clients in a day. Is that like the most that you've ever had in a day, or?
Well, that's normally a very busy day for
Yeah,
me. Is
right.
7 clients, and that was the day right before I left. And for a while at the salon, that wasn't normal for me because I was working 5 days a week. So I would normally have like 5 to 7 clients a day, which is a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Especially because that's just clients, so you don't know if they're doing their nails and their toes. So that's already almost 2 hours of service.
Okay, yeah.
So that I don't know. My body feels like it's 50 years old because that's it puts a lot of
100%, yeah.
lot on your body.
100%.
Hmm.
How did the grand opening go for your spa? Like what was that like?
It was honestly beautiful because the first, like, I only had like 3 or 4 people that day, and it was just like family and friends. So like my boyfriend's grandma comes to see me, so she came and supported me. I mean, she has just been so sweet. My friend from high school, which I went to cosmetology with,
Okay.
who now does hair,
Okay.
she came and supported me, and I had my another friend from high school come and get his nails done. So yeah, it just felt very like fun. Like it didn't feel like a job.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just didn't feel like stress. It didn't feel like it was scary. It just felt ease.
How long did it take to get the place up and running? Like prior to like you opening it?
So yeah, it took like I mean, I guess I could have technically opened a lot quicker,
Yeah.
but I used that month period in September. They allowed me to come in and do as much work as I wanted to in the space. So I used that month time period and used the weekends to go in and like drop stuff off, put things up, and like get it together.
Yeah.
So that's around how long it took.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, no, I mean, I respect it.
Mm-hmm.
Maria, thank you so much for coming through. Just one last question for you before we wrap.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone wants to start their own business, their own nail salon, specifically, like, did you have any advice for them?
Um, I would say before going into the business, I think you would definitely have to ask yourself, do you have confidence in yourself? Because that is where you're gonna get the most support, is if you know yourself, if you know that you're gonna be able to try as hard as you can to make it work. And if you don't have that like self-confidence, I don't think anybody could get anywhere with where they're going, and a little bit of delusion.
Need just the tinge
Mm-hmm.
of the of the
Yeah, because you have to kind of have that kind of delusion in your mind that like you're kind of somebody that you're not yet,
Yeah, right.
because for you to get there you have to
Work towards it.
be there.
Yeah. So.
And I think that's definitely helped me kind of be as strong as I am and try to work as hard as I can, because what would somebody who's running like a 6-figure business going to do in this situation? How are they going to go? And that confidence that I have instilled in myself, and just telling myself like I have to be that person, that's what's helped me.
Cool. All right. Well, Maria, thank you so much for coming
Thank
through.
you.
Appreciate it. This is the point in the pod where if you want to plug the IG account, we know where they can find your business. Otherwise, again, thank you so much for coming through. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
My business ad is trulymaria.nails, so you can follow me on there.
Awesome. Beautiful. Listen, MIC Podcast episode 190, Maria Nguyen in the building. And we're out, bro. Peace.